Isaac Walton was my excuse to go to England. I said to the committee at Yale University when I was applying for a fellowship to fish in the footsteps of the 17th century writer, "You know, he's the guy who wrote The Compleat Angler, the book that everyone's heard of and nobody's read. It's the third most frequently reprinted book in the English language after the Bible and the works of Shakespeare." I told the committee that Walton's words spoke to me, that fishing was my passion, and that his book defended every facet of the art of angling more lucidly than I could. I lied. At that point, I hadn't even read it. When I'm on the small Connecticut brooks of my youth, I want to be innocent again. I think of sleepouts in thick pine forests, clear running water, garden worms, diminutive flies, and first kisses with a freckle-faced girl. These are my best memories, along with days angling for wild trout. The brook, with all its colors and sounds, is an education. A place where I can learn about myself and other creatures as well. Without even realizing it, it is in my early years of fishing I began to follow Isaac Walton's first philosophy: study to be quiet. Shortly after I made my pitch to the fellowship committee to follow in the footsteps of Isaac Walton, my proposal was accepted, and I read The Compleat Angler cover to cover. I began to identify with Walton. He was a simple tailor whose genial nature won him the company of kings. I was simple too, a Connecticut Yankee whose intention was to enter the rarefied world of upper-class English society, to fish in the backyards of lords and princes and make them my friends. Fishing was a common bond that would break all boundaries. At Yale, they still have a few first editions of The Compleat Angler. The story begins with a conversation between a fisherman, the character Piscator, and the hunter, Venator. The two meet casually as strangers on a holiday and fall into a world very much like a dream while walking along the road to a trout stream, transcending the day and glimpsing, as it were, immortality.
So James, you've just told me that you think your interest in trout fishing comes out of a latent predatory impulse in you, which I deeply doubt somehow. Well, I just remarked you're the least predatory personality I've ever known.
Yeah, even though my fishing is kind of, the act is quiet and contemplative, I think it comes from an urge to go out and capture and kill. Even though now we release most of the fish, once in a while I relish banging one on the head and eating it, but
eating it, I don't think you relish eating it.
Well, no. Harold Bloom, one of the foremost literary critics in the world, once told us in a Shakespeare class that he had the greatest memory of anyone in the 20th century. So I was a little nervous when I approached him to ask if he knew anyone on campus that could be my advisor for the senior essay. "Well," he said, "I should think no one on the Yale campus knows more about Walton than I do. I'll be your advisor." A few weeks later I brought him 2 brook trout for dinner. During the course of the evening, I expressed uncertainty as to whether I might be favorably received by the upper classes of Englishmen who own the water where I would be fishing. Bloom remarked, "Nonsense, my dear. You are a writer and a painter. You are classless." I took that to mean that my position transcended class structure, not that I lacked social grace. Prior to leaving for Ireland and England, Harold Bloom gave me a going-away gift, a reading of Yeats's poem, The Song of Wandering Aengus. It describes every fisherman's dream, that a trout may turn into a beautiful girl.
I went out to the hazelwood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread, and when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossoms in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone and kiss her lips and take her hands and walk among long dappled grass and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun.